Atkins is a super prolific writer. I think he's written something over 30 books. The one I'm concerned with today is the 8th book in his Quinn Colson series. There are actually 12 books in the series. I've read them all, but the reason I selected this one to review is because it happened to be available for a download from the library. Now, Quinn Colson is the sheriff of Tibaha County. That's in Mississippi. He's a former Army Ranger, and he's lived in Tibaha, I think, most of his life. He's got a little bit of a complicated past, but he's a really good cop, and he certainly doesn't shy away from action. The central part of the plot concerns the murder of a young man who was a sort of a jack of all trades for a gentleman's club in Tibaha. When Colson gets involved in trying to solve this crime, he unknowingly gets in the middle of a gang war that happens to involve the Dixie Mafia and a couple of groups trying to control the drug trade in northern Mississippi. There are plenty of really interesting characters in this book, but I'm just going to highlight a few. One is a woman named Fanny Hathcock. She's the one who runs and operates the gentleman's club that the dead guy worked for. It was called Vienna's Place. Then there are her drug trafficking partners. Excuse me, a couple of brothers, Tyler and Cody Pritchard, who split their time, really, between growing weed and racing dirt tracks around the state. Fanny really doesn't trust them, and that's when she sends the dead guy to see what these guys are really up to. The guy who commits the murder is the boy's uncle, Heath Pritchard, who had just finished a 20-something year prison in a Mississippi prison called Parchman. It doesn't take Quinn long to catch on to the big picture, but actually solving this crime is a little bit complicated. Now, the things that grab me about Atkins' Quinn Colson books is really not so much the plots in them, as much as it is the characters that Atkins invents and the dialogue he puts in their mouths. Now, don't get me wrong, the plots are very well put together, and they do keep you thinking, but it's the descriptions of the characters and then their dialogue that actually keeps me glued to the page. Ace Atkins has built a following of super diehard readers who can't get enough of his particular brand of Southern homicide. And The Sinners makes it easy to see why. I think few authors are able to capture the South the way Atkins does. When you read the books, you can also almost taste the chicken fried steak. The chicken fried steak and fried collard greens. This is a really dark and gritty story, but it sucks you in and it won't let you go. Absolutely riveting. So I recommend that you try Ace Atkins, try his Quinn Colson books, and this book, The Sinners, is not that bad a place to start. I'll see you next week.